Okay, I think we're live. Look, if you are with us, hello, happy Friday. I hope you're well. Welcome back to Keep Cooking Daily. I'm going to wait a minute, maybe two, just for a few more people to join, and then we're going to start cooking up something magnificent. In the meantime, I'm going to make sure that everything's okay. I'm going to make sure that Giraffe is happy. Make sure that Hugo's happy. Are you happy, Hugo?
Very happy, thank you, Jack.
How's your Friday been so far?
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah?
This is, I'm definitely going to cook this at the weekend.
It's a good one.
It's indulgent, it's luxurious, it's incredibly fast, and as you already said, it's only 5 ingredients.
How could we forget anything? We almost did. Bryony, hello.
Hi.
Good morning, or just about good afternoon. How are you doing?
All good, thank you, Jack.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too.
It's been a fun week, isn't it? A busy week,
good
but
week.
fun.
And this is the recipe I backed in the public vote.
Yeah. If you remember, guys, on Monday, there was a poll to decide whether it was going to be a steak or a pie, and we've gone for the pie. Amazing. It's a good one. It's from Jamie's 5 Ingredients. And yeah, it's absolutely delicious. Doesn't take too long to cook. But as I say, I'm going to wait just, a bit longer for some more lovely people to join us, and then we'll get cooking. Got some tea here. Hugo, have you had a highlight from the week? I don't mean to put you on the spot. Had a highlight from the week. We've had beautiful eggs. We've had amazing falafel.
Yeah,
we've had Buddy's pizza.
For me, I love the falafel.
Yeah.
I think it's a really simple dish. You only did it in about 20 minutes, and it's got so many vegetables packed into it. And
a
with all
few
the
nice
embellishments.
techniques
Yeah,
as
a few
well.
nice techniques, charring the vegetables, cooking the falafel. My favorite technique, using the food processor twice without washing it out.
There we go. Love that. Yeah, that was a really nice one. Really, really nice. And we've had 2 different kitchens as well. We've had this lovely kitchen. We've been downstairs as well, which was our kind of more dramatic kitchen, a professional looking kitchen. But look, anyway, I could waffle on all Friday, but I'm not going to. Why? Because I'm getting hungry, and I can sense you are too. Guys, welcome back to Keep Cooking Daily. Happy Friday. I hope you've had a lovely week. I hope you've had a nice day. I'm Jack, if I haven't met you before. Nice to meet you. I'm the head chef of the Jamie Oliver Cookery School, and every day what we're doing with Keep Cooking Daily is bringing you a little bit of what we do at the Cookery School online to you with a nice recipe each and every weekday. So today, well, look, we gave you the choice back on Monday. What would you like to do for Valentine's Friday? Would you like to do a nice steak or a chicken pot pie? And we've gone for the chicken pot pie. Can you remember, Bryony, was it an overwhelming majority chicken pot pie?
It was relatively close. I think 60% of you voted for the chicken pot pie.
And this is why. Check that out. That is what we're going for. And you know what? A pie like this, really quite easy to get there in not a lot of time. This dish is from Jamie's 5 Ingredients. Let's put that to the side. Jamie's 5 Ingredients. So, of course, if you didn't know by now, it means every recipe in that book has just 5 ingredients. So it's a really simple one, quite quick too. And I'm going to start off with onions. So our 5 ingredients today are onions, mushrooms, chicken, of course, thyme, and pastry. Really straightforward. So look, first thing I'm going to do is start just slicing our onions up. There we are. And getting them into a nice pan at a high heat. So there's one. Lovely stuff. And let's move on to our second. And we're going to caramelize some onions, caramelize some lovely chicken thighs, which we'll talk about shortly. Likewise with some mushrooms, which we'll toast, and then we'll bring it all together into this delicious, sumptuous pie. And I think Hugo hit it on the head earlier on. If you missed it, this is it's just a classic. It's a hug and a mug. It's such a comforting dish, this. And I can see why it won the poll, because it's everyone's favorite, isn't it? If you are just joining us, chicken pie on the menu. I haven't started cooking. I'm going to start right now. I've got a pan on a high heat, and I'm going in with a nice glug of olive oil. And then I'm going to start with 2 onions. Nice and simple. Bryony, are we all happy so far on the chat? Everyone looking good?
All happy. People are quite excited because they voted for this recipe, so it's nice to see it coming together.
Super, fantastic. Well, look, you can't have a pie without onions. So there's 2 lovely onions in there. You can use shallot, red onions, white onions, yellow onions, whatever you like. And now we're going to move on to our chicken. So I've got 600 grams of chicken thigh just here, and I'm going to chop most of them really fine. and some of them a bit chunkier as well, just to have a bit of dual texture going on. And look, chicken thigh is my favorite. Personally, it's my favorite cut of chicken because there's more fat in the thigh, and that fat is what gives us flavor, and particularly in a thigh dish, which has a slower cooking time, it gives us a really lovely texture as well. The fat keeps the meat more moist and more succulent. So it's my favorite personally. It's cheaper than chicken breast. It's got more iron in it than chicken breast, more zinc. And yeah, we're using chicken thighs, about 400 grams of thigh, which to me today is coming out at 6, like this. Lovely. Hugo, happy so far?
Very happy, yeah.
Yeah?
That chopping the 2 different sizes of chicken that you're adding to the pie, Jack.
Yeah.
Finally chopping it and also having some chunkier. As you said, all that fat is going to start to render out of those smaller pieces faster than the big ones. It's going to have a variety of textures in there, which is what makes this pie, with only 5 ingredients, have so much flavour.
Totally. Thank you, Hugo. And it's just such a flavoursome cut of the chicken. It's really delicious. So look, I'm adding my chicken in. I've been really I've been chopping this in a Friday style. Some very small, some more chunky. And they're going into my pan, which is at a nice high heat. And we're trying to get a nice amount of colour on both our onions and on our chicken too. And you'll notice, and it's a good technique, a good habit to try and get to whenever you're cooking, is that one hand that I've been cooking with has been handling the meat. The other hand is meat-free. So it means that I can enjoy my tea, answer the phone, or use the hob, or work with the knife without getting chicken everywhere. Lovely. Any questions so far, Bryony? Is everyone following so far?
If you wanted to make this a vegetarian pie, Jack, what would you substitute the chicken with?
Yeah, look, so we've got, and I'm really excited to talk about it in a moment, some beautiful mushrooms today. Really glorious mushrooms that we're going to cook in a delightful way. And so that would then become the star of the show. And instead of the chicken, I'd be thinking things like aubergine or courgette, or just trying to kind of build some flavor with other lovely veg. And I'd probably use a few more mushrooms and get them as the heart and the soul of this pie. It'd be absolutely delicious. Look, so here we go. Oh, hello. Nice chicken cooking just here. Getting some, you can see already some lovely color all around the onion, all around the chicken. I've just given it a flip. So next up, I'm going to wash my hands very, very quickly, and we're going to start talking mushrooms. And if you are just joining us, hello, happy Friday. I hope you've had a lovely week. I'm Jack, if we haven't met before, and we're making a chicken pot pie today. It's from Jamie's 5 ingredients book, so it's super simple, just 5 ingredients. So far, I've used 2 onions in here, and about 6 chicken thighs as well, and they're frying in a nice medium-high heat. Meanwhile, mushrooms. Now, I want to talk to you about mushrooms. Let me get rid of my chopping board just very quickly. I'd like to talk to you about mushrooms, but first of all, I kind of want to get them straight in my pan. Then we'll talk about the different mushrooms that we're using today. You all right there, Hugo? You got a little...
Yeah, I'm just glad you got some. I'm glad you got some company on set.
Sorry?
I'm just glad you got some company on set.
I do. I know. I'm feeling very safe with my little giraffe. So mushrooms, very quickly. Look, some lovely oyster mushrooms. Are we going to add oil? No, we're not. Straight into the pan. You can use your hands. Hands are underutilized in the kitchen. We've talked about that before, haven't we? And straight in. Lovely king oysters just here that I'm using. Ripping up. And I'm on a very high heat. So let me just rip these up. Here's some lovely kind of small portobellos or chestnut mushrooms. There we are. And I'm using about 350 grams. And, you know, sometimes, oops, there you go. Sometimes I'm ripping, sometimes I'm squeezing. Use your hands, have fun with it. Get the kids involved if you like. Let me do a little bit more, and then we are done. And look, what are we doing just here? It's a really lovely technique. We're dry frying these mushrooms, and that's just a great way to cook them. Look, let me talk a little bit about what's going on with these mushrooms, shall I? And what's going on in the pan. In the Jamie Oliver Cookery School, when we work a technique like this, mushrooms, no oil, high heat, we always get a lot of lovely people getting nervous that the mushrooms are going to burn. When you're burning something, what you're doing really generally speaking, is you're over caramelizing sugar. So the more sugar something has, the more likely or the quicker it will burn. Mushrooms has very little sugar. They don't burn too easily. Plus, they've got lots of water in there too. So we don't have to worry about them burning because they don't have much sugar to burn. And plus, they've got lots of water in here. And that's part of the joy of this technique, is that we're getting rid of a load of the water by basically cooking it out. So we're going to have a more intense flavored mushroom that's also slightly sweeter and more charred in flavor because of this dry, smoky cooking technique. It's a great thing to introduce into your cooking, into your kitchen life, really. Dry fried mushrooms is always a winner. Hugo, do you agree or do you completely disagree?
Yeah,
with that?
it's like rapidly dehydrating them. You're concentrating the flavour because mushrooms are like mostly water.
Exactly.
So by removing some of that water, none of the flavour is lost. It's just concentrated.
And char, yes, is a good thing. Char is a good thing. That's what we're looking for, smokiness. So look, we're doing great. We're doing great. Look at these onions and mushrooms just here, looking golden and getting sweeter. They're looking lovely jubbly. I've got my mushrooms getting nice and toasted. So as we've said, intensified in flavor, a little bit sweeter too, plus smoky as well. We're looking pretty good, aren't we? But my two other ingredients are some thyme and some puff pastry. You could use short crust pastry. Hugo, what would your choice be? Short crust pastry or puff pastry?
Puff. I love puff. I love the kind of crunchy golden outer it has and then the almost soft layered inside, especially with a kind of rich filling like this. It's perfect.
And when you use puff pastry on a pie, I find you get like a dual texture, almost like a trio of textures. The kind of really crisp top bit. The middle layers are kind of a little bit crispy. And then the bottom layer is like quite oozy and gooey. It's delicious. So look, this is really straightforward, guys. You can take a long time over this, a short time. I'm just getting my mushrooms charred, my onions and my chicken cooked or caramelized. Looking glorious over here. Looking really great. And all I need now is my puff pastry. And I imagine I'm going to need a rolling pin to roll this out. Oh, look. Here it is. Look, if you are just joining us, lovely people, happy Friday. I hope you have had a lovely day. And welcome to Keep Cooking Daily, where today we're making a chicken pot pie that you voted for on Monday. 5 ingredients, really simple. But 5 ingredients, yes, but no compromise on flavor, particularly with the few different techniques that we've got going on here. Lovely, charred, caramelized mushrooms and chicken with the kind of smoky, rich, intensified mushrooms just here. Great combo, fantastic combo. The last 2 ingredients I've got to add are thyme as well as some puff pastry. And with this puff pastry, I'm just going to roll this out widthwise to get it a little bit wider so that it kind of just spreads out across this pan. And then we're pretty much done. I'll bring everything together, get it into the oven, and we'll have a look at one that's been in the oven for we'll have a look at how one looks once it's been in the oven for 15 minutes. Now, I need some flowers right here. Super duper. Bryony, how do you think I've covered everything? Is everyone happy? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, there's people tuning in from all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Australia, Canada, Borneo, Germany, honestly, all over the world. And actually, people are very excited by this recipe. They're thinking of cooking it up this weekend for Valentine's Day. So that's really nice.
Fantastic.
But
guys,
it is also a family-friendly recipe, isn't it, Jack? Because I think this recipe serves 4, is that right?
Very much. It serves 4. It's a great recipe for a household, for a family. You can cook all this up, right? Cook all of this up and then just freeze half of it. If it's just 2 of you, you can freeze half of it or refrigerate half of it. So yeah, you can kind of flex it to what suits your household or you as a family. Lovely. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, if you know, feel free to make this recipe, even if it's just 2 of you. Don't divide anything down. Just freeze half of it, and you can even take a little container, put the pastry on top, have it uncooked before it goes in the oven, and then it's a lovely thing. Right. I am just going to go. I'm just going to go a little bit of a extra yards by just lightly scoring the pastry. Do you need to do this? No, you don't. But it's Friday. It's Keep Cooking Daily.
It's a Valentine's Day special.
It's a Valentine's Day special. That's it. You know. So let's give this a little bit of love. Do this lightly, yes. Don't cut all the way through it. I've done that before. There we are. Now I'm starting to get a little bit fun and losing my straight. There we are. One more for luck. Super duper. Did you catch any of that? Not sure, but it looks great. I promise you. Looks super. Okay. Right. Oh, one more thing to do. Just swapping these around. I need to add my final ingredient. Thyme. Mushrooms are going to go into the pan as well as a bit of vinegar. And vinegar doesn't count as an ingredient today because it's like one of your 5 essential store cupboard ingredients. Isn't that right, Hugo? What are the?
Yeah.
Do you remember the 5 store cupboard essentials that don't count as the 5?
Red wine vinegar, cooking oil, like everyday olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and salt and pepper.
Super. Thank you. Lovely.
Felt like a test.
It was. I like to, I know you like to keep me on my toes, and I like to keep you on the toes, and we're all happy. Look how good that looks. I've just added some thyme. I'm now going to add a dash of vinegar. What do we know? The power of sour. It's going to give everything a nice little lift, as well as some water. 150 mils of water. Our mushrooms too. And then I'll bring this to the cut. I'll bring this right up there, just so you get a good view, good look at everything. Here we go. Check this out. What a lovely pie with so little effort, few ingredients. And what I love about 5 ingredients, my favorite thing about it is that you are relying on, you've got few ingredients. And so your job is to really kind of amplify their flavor through simple techniques. So you could have just as easily thrown those mushrooms straight into the mix here, no charring, no nothing. But by just spending that moment to char them, to blister them, to get that smokiness and intensify them, you're going to have a nicer, richer, more unctuous pie. So that's what I love about 5 ingredients, is that there's these simple tips and tricks to maximize the flavor and the opportunity of all the ingredients involved. So look, I'm happy with that. I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to bring you just over here and get this pastry on top. And look, this is never going to fit perfectly. You're going to have to kind of delicately fold it. And do you want me to bring this to a close-up? Would you rather that?
Sounds good. Yep.
Yeah? Here we are. So, there we go. You just kind of fold in that pastry, have it around the sides, and the folds, the little grooves, give us even more texture, even more variety, even more contrast. Looking absolutely lovely. I've got some extra sprigs of thyme that I'm gonna use. Let me just see where my oil is. Got some oil just here. 1 second. There we go. And I'm gonna use these extra sprigs of thyme to brush the oil all over. Look at that. You could use butter, anything that you like. I'm using some olive oil today. And there we go. Looking so good. Hugo, what do you think of this?
Looks fantastic. And that thyme is so fragrant, you can smell it from here.
Makes a huge difference. You could use some sage. That would be delicious. You could use some rosemary. And let me just make a small incision in the middle, like that, and get this thyme all the way on the inside, like that. Beautiful. Ready to go? Yes. Into the oven at, remind me the temperature, Hugo.
220 degrees, 15 minutes. That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. Now, just because it's Friday, I'm going to give us a little bit of suspense. I'm going to clean down before I show you one that has literally just come out of the oven. And it looks absolutely gorgeous. And look, whether you're cooking this for yourself, for the rest of your household, or whatever's going on, you are gonna love this. 5 ingredients, minimal effort, a few different tips and tricks and techniques to amplify flavors, and you are gonna end up with a heroic chicken pie. Let me just show you this. Oh yes, come on. You've got your crispy puff pastry. You've got all the different grooves and different textures that come with it. Lovely thyme that creates like a whirlpool of flavor on the inside. Winner, winner.
Chicken dinner.
Yeah. Brian is in there before me. I try to hold back. And look, I'm going to serve this up for me. But look, I hope you give this a go at home, guys. If someone in your life that you know needs a chicken recipe, tag them in the video. If you're going to make this at home, share the pictures with us. I'd love to see it. And I'm going to make myself, look, Hugo, what would you serve with this?
A nice little watercress and apple salad will be nice.
Yeah.
Some steamed greens, maybe a few roasted potatoes will be really good as well.
Okay, and picture it for me. Paint a picture for me. It's Saturday night. You've got a few greens. Got the pot pie.
A few greens.
What's your drink of choice to go with this, Hugo?
I think maybe a nice pale ale with this would be quite
Ooh,
nice.
very
Nice cold
fancy.
beer.
And Bryony, how about yourself? What would be your perfect tipple to go alongside this pie?
I'd have a gin and tonic personally.
Wow, that sounds glorious. I've gone for double helpings already. Let me just show you this. This is, you can see just down in there, the mushroom, the tender mushroom, the flavoursome chicken, full of thyme, lovely pastry. You can see the bottom bit just here is gooey and umptuous. The top bit is crispy. It is a real winner. Guys, look, thank you for joining us today. And thank you for joining me all week and for the last 5 weeks. Or has it been 6 now? I'm not sure. I hope you're keeping well and safe, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. Have a great weekend. Enjoy, and I'll see you back here, same time, same place on Monday. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye. I'm definitely taking this one with me. Have a close-up for you. Ooh, yeah.